Hey everybody, so today I will be bringing you a video that's not so much an unboxing video as it is an unwrapping video. Today we'll be looking at two Barnes & Noble Classic Edition leather-bound books. These two books are Stand by Stephen King and the Complete Fiction Collection by HP Lovecraft. I'll unwrap each of these and I'll tell you what I think of each of them. Alright, so the first book I'll be looking at is The Stand by Stephen King. Now, this was a Barnes & Noble exclusive classic edition. For those of you who know, Barnes & Noble has a classic edition line where they re-release books in a fancy leather-bound edition. You can see the sticker here. It says Barnes & Noble exclusive. Now, this was released in 2020, I believe, which coincidentally was the same year that COVID struck the U.S. Well, actually, well, technically it was late 2019, but you get what I'm saying. This is also released around the same time as the Stand miniseries, I believe. I watched that. I thought it was mostly good. It had a few big problems in the beginning, but I thought it balanced out quite well. So here's the front cover. Personally, I think the artwork on here is quite gorgeous. Here's the spine. Nice contrast here. The top and bottom have a nice dichotomy with in terms of color palettes. It's also very reminiscent of the original artwork of kind of hard to describe. This like wizard-looking guy fighting the Grim Reaper, and they had a sword and a scythe. Of course, you Stephen King junkies would know what I'm talking about. Right. And the spine here is also slightly embossed. It's got a few different textures on it. Here's the back. Of course, we got Randall Flagg's Crow. See down here's the price tag, and $25. I think that's a pretty good price for this. It also lets you know that this book isn't rare at all. I don't believe this was ever a limited edition thing. I do believe Barnes & Noble is still manufacturing and selling this book. And along the spine, you can see we got a very gorgeous, we have very gorgeous gilded pages, a gold gilded. I think it's always awesome when leather-bound books have gilded pages. Alright, now let's unwrap this guy. Alright, it's out. Now I did actually have this book for quite a while. I just never got around to unwrapping it, partially because I did want to make a video, but I also thought it'd be kind of neat to have the only special edition Stephen King book I have to be sealed. I mean, I don't know if you would call it a special edition, but it looks like a special edition. Straight out of the wrap, the leather does feel quite smooth, and so do the pages. The pages got also a nice crisp feel to them. Now, for those of you who don't know, this isn't actually real leather. It's a fake leather called faux leather or leatherette. From what I understand, it's used quite a bit on special edition books because of how cheap and available it is, and it also allows for more artistic freedom, I think. Yeah. Having the wrap off also does bring out the colors quite a bit more, and you can see the gilding is a bit reflective. Alright, opening it up, got some nice biohazard symbols on the end pages. I'll say Barnes & Noble did a pretty good job in terms of choosing the artwork to go along with this. Let's see, copyright page. So it looks like this is not a first edition. It's a third printing of some kind. Although I don't really care much about that. I just wanted to have the book. Also, an additional feature on these leather-bound books is They actually give you your own page marker, or I don't know the proper name for this, but it's just a little ribbon that's included in here, and you can use it to save your page. I think that's pretty handy. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is actually a copy of the complete and uncut version of the stand. As far back as the original release in 1990 of the complete and uncut version of the stand, all preceding copies and special editions have been the uncut version. Personally, I think it's a shame that the cut version went out of print, but it does help make it that much more awesome. Now, I actually have a hardcover of the complete and uncut edition. Just for a little size comparison, they are the same height. They're pretty much the same width, and they're just about the same thickness. The original hardcover is just a tad bit thicker. Also, the original uncut hardcover had a page count of 1,153, and the leather-bound edition also has a page count of 1,153. And also, comparing the paper, I don't want to say this feels like cheaper paper, but it's definitely thinner paper. I hope this won't tear. I don't think it will, but definitely is the most durable book printed. Now, I have sort of read the stand. I read the cut version first. That's this guy right here. This is the original cut version of the stand, released in 1978. For those of you who don't know, Stephen King's original manuscript had to be highly truncated in order for Doubleday to publish it. It was an accounting decision, and I'm not going to get into the whole history now, but just know that there are two versions. There's the cut version, and then there's the uncut version. Both were published by Doubleday, and you can see how very much of a significant size difference this is. And even though the thicknesses look the same, this is over 1,100 pages, while this is only 823 pages. And when I was reading the cut version, I did enjoy that quite a bit. I found it to be better than the two miniseries in many ways, and in some ways I found the miniseries, both the 1994 one and the 2021, to be better in some ways. I don't really know what to expect entirely out of the uncut version. I mean, I do know some of the details, but I don't know which version I would like better. If I had to guess, I'd probably say I'd like the cut version better, simply because I got a lot of detail out of that, and it is significantly shorter. But yeah, that was the leather-bound Barnes & Noble collector or classic edition of The Stand. If you're a Stephen King collector, I would recommend picking this up, as it is a pretty cool edition. If you're just getting into Stephen King collecting, I would say get it. If you've never read Stephen King in your life, I'd say, well, actually, The Stand probably wouldn't be the book to start on, as it is his longest book. But I would definitely recommend this further down the road. All right, and now on to the complete fiction collection by HP Lovecraft. Now, HP Lovecraft, for those of you who don't know, was one of the biggest inspirations for Stephen King, and he spent a good chunk of his career encouraging others to read Lovecraft. I myself just recently started reading his stories. I've only read a couple out of the dozens he's produced, and I might be totally wrong, but I think Lovecraft only wrote short stories. I don't think he wrote any novels or significantly long novellas. And each of the collections that I have purchased only include short stories. And even though this says the complete fiction, I have a feeling that's not going to include every single one of his works. All right, now a quick look at the front cover. The one detail that's pretty cool is this picture of, I'm guessing it's a galaxy. It is reflective. It does bring out the colors, which is pretty cool. The big reason I wanted this was mainly for the artwork. I do enjoy the blue, purple, and black color scheme on it, and it has a very cosmic feel and existentialist feel, which I know HP Lovecraft was big about writing. Here's a look at the spine. Also quite a beautiful piece, and it's got the same sort of textures that the stand has. Here's the back. It's pretty much the same as the front cover. On the back it says, it lists some of the stories: the Call of Cthulhu, At the Mountains of Madness, the Dunwich Horror, I don't know if that's how you pronounce that, and the Color Out of Space, and more. Also, you can see down here it's also $25. And up here it includes the Barnes & Noble exclusive sticker. And one interesting thing about this is it actually has silver gilding on the pages. Yeah, honestly, I think that looks really cool, and this is the first book I've seen to actually utilize a silver gilding, and it does seem to be quite shiny and reflective. Personally, I think more books should use silver gilding instead of just the same old gold. All right, now let's unwrap this guy. It's kind of hard to cut open these books without damaging the pages or the cover. Alright, now out of the wrapper, this does feel quite amazing. The front cover is embossed. These little lines here, they have a bit of texture to them, and this galaxy picture kind of feels like maybe plastic or cardboard. It has some nice textures along the edges, and it is quite smooth. This might still be foul leather, but if it is, it's quite a higher grade than the stand was bound in. Also, from what I understand, foul leather was it's made of like a plastic with a wax coating or finish. Here's the spine. This doesn't have as much textures except for the top and bottom. And the back, not so much embossed. It is a little bit. And of course, out of the wrap, you can see just how shiny and reflective the silver gilding is. And it's got the same page marker ribbon. This one is purple, which I think looks amazing. Yeah, basically to sum it up, I do think this is quite a beautiful book. Opening it up, ooh, got some interesting artwork. I know Lovecraft collections usually have some pretty impressive and also cryptic artwork. I'm not entirely sure what it means, but it does look nice. They're in. Alright, table of contents. Oh, this is new. Manufactured in India. Usually I see either China or the United States. And here we have the contents. Oh wow, this does have quite a lot of his work, more than I've seen in his Necronomicon or Tales of Horror collections. And this is also the longest collection I've seen, topping off at over 1,000 pages. Alright, so in total, this collection has 74 tales. That is definitely the longest Lovecraft collection I've seen. Also, comparing it to the two other Lovecraft collections I have, this is the Tales of Horror, and then the Necronomicon. Artwork-wise, I would say Tales of Horror is probably my favorite, but the Complete Fiction is definitely a close second. This is actually thicker than I won't say thicker, but it has more pages than the Necronomicon. I will say this this definitely feels like it has a thinner paper on it. But yeah, that was my overview on the Complete Fiction collection by HP Lovecraft. If you're a Lovecraft fan, I would definitely recommend picking this up. If nothing else, then just for the notoriety of having this cool leather-bound edition in your collection. If you're just getting into Lovecraft, I'd say this is a good place to start, as it features way more tales than any other collection I've seen. If you're a horror fan, I would definitely recommend adding Lovecraft to your collection. The few short stories I have read of his, namely Dagon and the Cats of Ultar, I quite enjoyed them, and I think a lot of other horror fans would enjoy them too. So yeah, that was my overview on the Stand by Stephen King and the Complete Fiction by H.P. Lovecraft, classic edition leather-bound Barnes & Noble exclusive books. I hope you all enjoyed watching. If you want to pick these up yourself, I would recommend it. Compared to other leather-bound books I've seen, these are considerably cheap. I also saw that online these books are quite a bit more expensive than if you just bought them in person. So yeah, thank you for watching and have a good day.